to Dharinder Tayal. The fact is, Amit Shah responded to Arvind Kejriwal. The AAP would argue that it's very rare. Usually the BJP sets the agenda and the other parties respond. This was one moment when it is the BJP responding. What do you say?
Thank you, Barkha. I think the sentence that Sanjay Jha started with, where he surprised the entire country by saying that there is a sense of desperation where a lack of confidence and sense of desperation with Mr. Modi. Now, I mean, his worst detractors are not going to believe that is something you cannot pin on Mr. Modi. But that is what is coming out from Kejriwal. Because now he has just come out of jail and there is something he's got to say. There is some, like a word which was used by Rahul Gandhi, there is some drama to be created. So that is a drama he created and Amit Shah has responded very candidly, very clearly. So there are no ifs and buts there. So that part is settled. There is no issue there. Also, what was said, because I'm just talking about the drama part, it is the Congress which desperately needs drama now and then. Take, for example, something as ridiculous as a former chief minister of Congress saying that the attack which happened on the IAF personnel was staged. There could not be anything more shameful than that, but that was the drama. And then they also got their star drama player from the US to repeatedly come and play some dramas, leak out their internal secrets. But when Sam Petroda was here, finally, when they saw that they could not distance themselves any longer, then they had to ease him out. So the drama is there. BJP does not need to do the drama. If you're looking at what are the numbers saying, there is one place I look for. I mean, may not be very legit, but there are people who are putting their money where their mouth is. And that is the Satta Bazaar. So anybody can keep talking anything. It is cheap. Talk is cheap. But are you putting your money where your mouth is? And what is the Satta Bazaar saying? So they're talking about BJP alone at 330. So that is another point that I'd like to make. The other point, huge point, which was made was that the BJP is talking about the Congress Manifesto. Of course we are, because it is such a ridiculous document. It's a document that has been prepared thinking, humne kaun sa sarkar banani hai, so let us say whatever we want to say. Couple of examples. One example, they say we are going to give 1 lakh of rupees to every household. There are 32 crore households in this country. So you're talking about 32 lakh crores being given. The total revenue, 35 lakh crores. Okay, I'd leave out Sanjay Jha is surprised. So I'll leave out some of those. Maybe Sanjay Jha is not getting any, I'm not getting any, you are not getting any. So let us cut those out. We are still talking about somewhere around 22, 24 crores households, right? So is that of the total revenue, are you going to give this money there? You obviously cannot. Then what kind of a document are we talking about? So it is a document, like to repeat, where one is saying, "Mujhe to sarkar banani nahi, main kuch bhi bol dunga. It will all pass through. Doesn't make a difference. Let Modi handle it. Modi is there for handling these things."
Okay.
He spoke about, Rahul Gandhi spoke about कि Modi ji ने बेरोजगारी का कुछ नहीं किया. And again, the data is with us. I mean, I've said this earlier. I'm saying this again. The country has a GDP of about $3.7 trillion. Growing at about 6.7%, which means additional production of about 2 lakh crores. Who did it? Obviously, some people have joined the workforce to have produced.
So Dr. Tayal, you are talking about Rahul's speeches. They're talking about Modi's speeches. The opposition. I mean, objectively, Sugata, what's going on? What is actually going on? Before I come to Sriram about Madhvi Lata and the controversy created in Hyderabad today, there's been a controversy in every party. The BJP has had its shares of controversies in Hyderabad. The AAP is having its shares of controversies. JDS has had Prajwal Revanna, right? Rahul, the Congress has had Sam Petroda. This is like normal for election season. But in real terms, has this election turned out to be surprising, or is this election still a done deal with Modi in pole position, as was assumed when this campaign started?
Thank you, Barkha. Actually, two things. I was just looking at my notes from 2019, Barkha, journalistically speaking. And I was looking at all that I had written, all that I had spoken, and all the numbers and the narratives at play. In fact, the elections then in 2019 was equally combative. In fact, it was a little more, the Congress was as aggressive as it has become after the second phase. So, I don't see a lot of difference between the kind of aggression that you saw in 2019 when Rahul Gandhi was directly calling Modi a chore, Chaukidar chore hai. So that kind of extreme rhetoric was being used then as well. And so now, if you cut to 2024, see, some may interpret it as desperation, but I think it's a game to dominate the narrative. Congress has come a long way when in its communication, in trying to dominate the social media space. So, but we should ask ourselves if this kind of a domination is only in the media and in the social media space or out there in the street. And if you look at the numbers, because a lot of my co-panelists spoke about numbers, let's not look at turnout. Let's not look at anything that is anecdotal or empirical. Just look at the margins of victory, Barkha, in the previous election. Most of these seats, you look at a 25%, 23% margin that is there. So even if you cut down on those margins, I think BJP, yes, a lot of people say that they're on the back foot. They may not actually sort of cross the 300 mark or the 270 mark. And then, there's a lot of these things being put into the minds of people. So the most important phrase that is doing the rounds is the election has turned. I don't know where that is coming from, Barkha. Honestly speaking,
Dilip said in the beginning also, he asked the same question. Where is it coming from? So one of the places it's coming from, let me attempt to answer it. One of the places it's coming from is the turnout figures of the first three phases. 3 or 4 points lower than the last election. That's one of the places where it's coming from. The other place where it's coming from is the Prime Minister pivoting in a way to speeches that are, very Hindu-Muslim oriented, some are befuddling like Adani, Ambani. These are the places I guess it's coming from. I don't know, Sanjay can explain better, but I'm imagining that's where it's coming from. Sanjay, you want to add to that? Where is it coming from, Sanjay?
I'll answer that. I'll tell you why I disagree with what Sugata said. By that logic, the only way that the BJP will ever get defeated is if there is an equal and more margin for the opposition. And I'll tell you why that is a flawed argument. Number one, there is another alternative way to look at it, that already in the assembly elections after the 2019, the BJP shares post the Lok Sabha, and if you look at the state elections, had shrunk dramatically. And one of the best ways to understand the public mood is to look at what you did in the last election and not just the last Lok Sabha election, because that was 5 years ago. In the last 5 years, the Congress is different, Rahul Gandhi is different, issues are very different. So that's one factor. The second factor also, please remember that when elections are fought, you live in the moment. You can't just say that this is what happened 5 years ago, etc., etc. The Congress came down from 206 in 2009 to 44 seats in 2014, and his vote share came down from 28 to whatever 20%. Okay. So my logic is that when the vote goes against you, Barkha, or it goes in favor of your opposition, the margins just tend to dissipate for various reasons.
Let Sugata complete his point, and then Sriram Kari, and then we'll have another round of everybody. Yeah, Sugata. Yeah.
I brought in the margins argument only because we don't have any other data which is credible. That's the only thing. That's the bottom line. I completely agree with Sanjay that if there is a swing election, margins will go down. But are we really seeing that kind of a swing and a wave at the ground level? I really don't think so. Because
the only wave, it's been said often, but it bears repetition. The only wave is the heat wave. It bears repetition. The only wave, but again, I should say, Sugata, There may not be a visible surge for the BJP, but there is absolutely no visible anger against the BJP. When we say it's not a wave election, both things have to be said and acknowledged. There is no huge anger against the BJP. I want to just bring in Sriram for one comment. But Sriram, meanwhile, in your home city, Hyderabad, Madhavi Lata, the BJP candidate against Asad Owaisi, sparked controversy today when she walked into a polling booth and asked for women to reveal their faces so she could match those faces against their IDs. An FIR has been filed. I'll just play out that clip and then get your comment on overall on what's happening. Take a look.
ये तो 38 है, आप 38 की कहाँ है? उठाइए आप। ये कौन है? आप कौन है? आपका दूसरा आधार कार्ड है आपका? हाँ, ये चाहिए। पहले बनाई से कितने साल पहले बना फिल्म ये?
So Sriram, should she have been doing this, and how is it playing out locally in Hyderabad? Briefly on this, and then on the overall picture in the south. Oops, can we mute Sriram while I'm speaking? How is this playing out? Is she going to get into trouble? And then the big political picture. The Prime Minister has been naming Telangana as one of the states that the BJP expects.
Thank you, Barkha. I always begin answering your questions with a little bit of protest about this colonial kind of categorization that I am good enough only to answer Hyderabad-based questions.
No,
Whereas,
you're the only one who can tell us
Cherian
about
and
Hyderabad.
Mr. No. This whole Mr. Jha is good enough to explain the entire Asian politics to us. But since I'm in Hyderabad, मैं दक्षिण भारती हूँ तो मुझे बस आप हैदराबाद का सवाल पूछेंगे.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं सर. अरे sir.
Anyway, Barkha, I'm also very intrigued by the funny part which everybody else failed to observe, that the BJP leader said that he follows the Satta Bazaar. I don't know if there's illegal market and economy and gambling and cash economy going on in the Modi era. In the last 10 years, I thought all of them are gone. And it's very interesting if you play the Satta Bazaar and you're saying that, sir, or even know what the rates are. I don't know what is Satta Bazaar, and I don't think anything illegal happens in the last 10 years of this kind, organized betting racket, etc. Maybe it happens in other countries, but it's illegal in India and doesn't happen. Anyway, Barkha, two aspects. One is this is not a single term, the second term anti-incumbency, if there is any. I believe the Congress better organized. Don't forget, last time also Mr. Modi had 40% vote, and that was enough to give him 300 seats. Can you tell me anything to say that a typical Modi voter will not vote for Modi again or BJP again? Have you sensed that anti-incumbency? There were always people who opposed Mr. Modi. Even 14, he got 31, 32%. So a lot of people are opposed to Modi, and they are visible and they're better organized on social media. But I haven't met too many.
Are you saying Sriram, that those who loved Modi continue to do so, and those who did not like Modi continue to do so? There are people who shift their vote, and those are the people who hold the key to this election, Sriram Kari.
Absolutely, new voters. I looked at those categories. New voters, have they moved away from BJP? The young voters. There is a set 5 years population changes, 10 years changes a lot, but I haven't seen too much of factual data to suggest a broad shift, any big support pillar of Mr. Modi. Certain transitions they'll square off. Second reason I still believe is the remaining 60%, that is non-Modi, has come together better, is able to make itself felt. Third, I definitely agree that the entire narrative, the monopoly BJP had on the narrative, doesn't feel like it because of one reason. 2014 was one nation, one issue. Loss of confidence in UPA. All problems are because of Congress, and there's one solution, Modi Sarkar. In 2019, It was a very bold leader who took broad decisions like demonetization, GST. We could trust him, and the bigger things he had to do, Ram Temple, Article 360, and the Pulwama Balakot. Point is, the whole country felt it was looking like one nation, one election in the narrative sense. This time it's looking like sum of the parts. In Telangana, we are not feeling the sense of what's happening in Karnataka. In wherever I have little traveled.
But Srirams, look at this comment coming in on our audience stream. This time the Congress has won on social media, but the BJP is still far ahead on the ground.
Very possible. Please, I am again saying this, just because Congress is caught up on the social media and the fact that its manifesto is being discussed more is no basis to believe the core BJP Modi voter has turned against the BJP.
Okay, can I ask you about Telangana? Not to pinhole you in Telangana, but the rest of us don't know enough about Telangana. Telangana has been mentioned by the Prime Minister as a state where he expects the BJP to improve. The last time, if I'm not wrong from memory, the BJP got 4 seats, and that was better than the Congress performance. Today, you have a Congress in the state government. Do you expect the BJP, and you called that election right before anybody else, do you expect the BJP to make gains in Telangana? Yes or no? You can also say, I don't know.
No, I'll say I know. I'll know exactly. I'll give you the numbers. BRS got 9 out of 17 last time. They are getting 0 this time. So those 9 seats are being taken by Congress, which had 3, and BJP, which had 4. Both Congress and BJP will rise. So though while BJP gains, Congress gains, net, there will be no difference. In fact, the only state in India, and I'm going on record of Barkha saying this, the only place where BJP will gain meaningfully, which will make an overall difference to the tally in the country for the NDA, besides Andhra Pradesh, where they have a new partner who was not there with them in 2019, was in 14, is Odisha. Odisha is where BJP is making substantial gains.
Okay. Now let's take a quick round across the panel.
And what Madhavilata did was terrible. Shouldn't have done that.
Okay. The Election Commission is cognizant of it, hasn't intervened, but an FIR has been filed locally. Let's go to Dilip Cherian. The Kejriwal factor. There's a new controversy with Kejriwal today. Nobody is speaking on record, but Kejriwal did manage to introduce this 75-year debate with people making quips about Apki Bar 75 par. At the same time, today he's had this headline eruption with Maliwal, who has not spoken for herself. We're only going by what's come in the media. Does this matter? What do you make of it, and what do you make of the Kejriwal factor? Dilip Cherian.
I think jailing Kejriwal was as much an error of political judgment as releasing him in political terms. I'm not talking of the legal side. Second, I think Kejriwal is making a huge difference to the kind of voting enthusiasm among Delhi citizens. I don't know how much it's going to affect Punjab, but in Delhi, he's having an impact on the ground in terms of what I would call ground level chatter in Delhi has increased in favor of Kejriwal, and you can sense it across the board. Does it translate into a huge number of seats? Any seat is a victory, because last time the BJP had all the seats of Delhi. So the question is, will Kejriwal's release have made a difference to the electoral tally in Delhi, and will he make a sortie into Punjab? I don't know. But I think in Delhi, it's going to make an impact.